the October 6th, 2020 Big Board meeting. I turn my microphone on, it helps. I'd like to call the October 6th, 2020 Bid Board meeting to order. We have acknowledgement of a quorum, and the first item of business is the approval of minutes of September 1st, 2020.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Justice and a second by Tony Cable. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1, financial report. Justice, can you give us a really quick update?
Sure. September was a pretty low-key month in terms of financial changes. We had a very small amount of investment interest added to our revenue. Sorry, just turned on my mic. So we had a pretty low-key month for financials in September. We had a couple $100 added in investment interest, or about 100. And then expense-wise, we had monthly electricity and landscaping only. So another expense that was occurred in September was the landscaping of the mums. So we haven't yet paid for that, but that was an additional about $1,000 that we had already set aside for roots and branches. So otherwise, there's no other changes in the financials.
We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Justice, second by Peggy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry about that. I'm not used to saying names at this point. Historic district update. I know there was a public meeting.
Yes,
I don't know how
so,
well it was attended.
After the presentation at our last meeting, we also had a public meeting in September on the 17th in the evening with Peggy Verigen again, and she did a very similar presentation, but we did solicit the public to participate virtually, so they were able to call, email, or text in, and we did have some questions at the end, but not very many. We did receive a few questions after the fact as well, and there was an article in the Daily News about the proposed project. So the next steps for us would be to put together an RFP to have somebody actually do our nomination and the research for the district. So I've requested samples from the State Preservation Office of RFPs so that we can get going. We have had a couple of people who have expressed interest in writing our nomination, so that's great.
Did you have a sense for the number of people that participated?
It was pretty low, I would say.
Okay.
Not very many.
Just curious.
So I guess the question comes down to is we put money in the budget for next year. Do we want to, I know the city has expressed interest, they want to pay half, we'll pay half. Do we want to move forward with this and hire a consultant to, write up whatever we need to write up?
Any reason not to?
I personally don't see any reason not
A lot
to.
of downside. I mean, the money it's going to take to do it, I guess, is the only.
Yeah, it's $7,500 from us.
Oh,
Which we did include in the operating plan, which was approved last night at council.
do we need a motion to move forward?
Yeah, we do.
Uh,
I would think we need a motion to do that, to spend the money.
Motion to move forward and spend money on establishing a historic. Motion to move forward and spend money on a historic downtown district.
Second.
We have a motion by Justice, a second by Kathy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. John Elkey, I just received a message from somebody that the live feed's not working. They're trying to watch the meeting. Okay, next item is the holiday decoration update. So Jess and I met with David J. Frank about doing some additional things. We have a PowerPoint that they put together for us. But kind of in high level of what we proposed is to add 6 feet to the tree at a cost of $10,000. And then we're going to add lights and the balls to the planter in front of Sal's. We'll also do lights and balls in the tree, like those, what you're seeing in the picture, and the trees in front of Laughing Mountain and the tattoo shop to finish those off. And then we'll also put lights in the Pocket Park. And I was able to come up with all of the money to cover the cost of that, so we're going to move forward with it. We're planning a tree lighting ceremony with a lot of social distancing on November 5th, I believe it is.
Yep.
Does that, I'm just curious, does that 10,000, that includes decorations and all that for that additional 6 feet, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's not, the bid isn't paying for that. You said you've already raised money
We've
for that?
already raised, we have money left from last year's raise, plus I got more money to cover this year's. So
Wow.
the only cost to the bid, which we agreed to on the last meeting, was that we would put up, take down, and city would store it. But the purchase cost of it is being covered by the same group that did last year's. And just moving forward, we also looked at putting stuff across the streets, and we decided this year we were going to hold off just because the timing is getting really short, and we don't want to end up like we did the first time we did this and get really tiny stuff. So we want to spend more time doing a lot of research and make sure we get the right size, the right look, and so that's planned for 21-22 Christmas. So we have one more, another year similar to this, but it's so hard in those pictures to see how big they are. And we don't want to risk doing what we did the last time and get them too small.
What's the lighting ceremony look like? Like, what's the event? Are you having a band or anything like that?
We haven't figured it out. I think hopefully we can get Santa with a mask and we can do pictures like we did last time, get the mayor down there, get John Elkey down there to do a live broadcast of it like we did last year. Kind of the same thing. Last year it was really, really cold in that place. There was a lot of people. So we're going to have to also figure out how we can, distance people and, do it safely, I guess, is, in my opinion, is the key. That's going to be the hardest part. So, I'm going to leave that up to Jess to figure out how we're going to do that.
I think all you can do is just ask them to do that, because, the Downtown Association asks people at the farmer's market to social distance, and that works really well.
Yeah. How's that work for you?
It doesn't. People are people. So, but if it's a fun event, you still want people to come out. So, hopefully people will wear masks.
I think we can stress that we'll be doing a live broadcast or a recording or something, and people can tune in that way too.
Yeah.
Especially if the weather is cold or rainy or both.
So as a side note to that, as part of that, I'd like to make a proposal that the bid does spend some money on something, and that is I talked to Jeff from The Bend, and back in the day, Herb will remember this, the businesses downtown used to sponsor a theater weekend of a Christmas movie. And I thought it would be kind of cool if we could kind of bring that tradition back, and I talked to Jeff, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. We could come up with a Christmas movie. It would probably cost about $500, but it would be run over an entire weekend. And I think he even said probably even into the week, so that it could be impact enough people, and it would be a free showing of a Christmas movie sponsored by the bid, which I think would just be kind of a cool, and we would do it. I'm not exactly sure when we would do it. Maybe we do it that same weekend. Because you have Bloomin' Holidays going on with the museum. We're going to do the tree lighting on Thursday night. He can maybe tie it into that whole Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing. So I'm curious if the bid would like to fund that $500.
So for $500, we're sponsoring a Christmas-themed movie for like 1 week, and then people can go, they'll put the times up on the marquee or whatever, and then they'll show it, and then people can go for free.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I don't know the exact time, if it's a week or the weekend, but
Okay.
it would be, yeah, it would definitely be sponsored by the bid. The bid would get the billing of paying for it, and
Yeah.
they'd have it on the marquee, and, we could promote it through social media.
I think that it's very fair. That's pretty much what the cost is to sponsor like a movie night in the park at Ragnar in the summertime. So, and that's something that brings families out and gets people out to doing nice things. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I'll make a motion for the bid to sponsor a Christmas themed movie that weekend.
Second.
I have a motion from Peggy, a second from Kathy. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposition? Motion carries. Okay, last item on the agenda is kind of an update from Jay on what's going on with the brewery. Some exciting news.
It is exciting. Jess is scrolling through some of the photos that were submitted as a concept plan. This goes to Plan Commission this evening, so that'll be the first time that the city is seeing it formally and publicly. Jess, do you want to scroll through and then we can talk about, I don't know if you had a chance to click through your packet or not.
This was an amendment.
So it's two separate buildings. Currently Franklin Street, that shot kind of shows it, is separating the two buildings. Franklin Street is no longer. We had a development proposal in 2017 that formally vacated Franklin Street. And there are utilities under that street, or under that area of land, it's not a street any longer, that make it preventable for them to do anything, the developer to do anything structurally over it anyhow, and it just is a real nice natural break between the two buildings. They plan to use that as the main entrance to the building to the south. Both buildings have underground parking. Both buildings are multi-family, high-end apartments. And these last two photos are really cool. The existing Riverwalk in that area is nice. It's not great. It has a cyclone fence that separates the westernmost part and the not so great looking brewery building at this time to the Riverwalk. As part of this development, assuming that a TIF is created for it and there are funds available through that TIF creation to do some public upgrades, we would likely be trying to upgrade this Riverwalk area in a similar fashion that we've already done on the east side, just south of there, and are planning to do on the west side in the very near future. So it's really exciting. This has been on the market, if you will, for some time by the private landowners that have owned the property. They've had considerations about doing something themselves there. This buyer, HKS Development from Milwaukee, is for real. They've put a lot of money into this proposal already. Enberg Anderson is their architect. They've done a very nice job for this level of detail to come as a concept plan to our Plan Commission is something that we rarely see at this level. So staff's been excited about working with them in the last few months. They are looking to have some kind of commercial entity of some sort on that corner. They have not named what that might be at this time, but you can see that there's hope for a outside venue, and again, just really exciting. Currently, the assessed value of that area is about $400,000, and this, obviously we don't know the number yet, but this has the likely potential of being significantly higher than that. So any questions that you might have, I can help answer them. When Mike reached out and asked about adding this to the agenda, thought about it and thought it was a great idea to show the business improvement district support in advance of the Plan Commission meeting this evening. I think you guys discussing it, and if that's where you come up with your recommendation, I think that would go a long ways for both the council and the Plan Commission. The the council's role will be, there's one zoning change that will need to take place on the property, both properties, and then the TID creation, if we're able to. We haven't created a TID in 10 years and created one in 2020, and now have the possibility of creating one in 2021. So pretty exciting times from a development demand in West Bend right now.
So, Jay, this is like up by where like Ray's Shoes is, right?
Correct.
Is Ray's Shoes still going to be there?
So the whole building would be raised.
The whole
taken down.
thing?
Yep.
How far does the bid district go that way?
It does
Stops
not.
at 33, so that's part of this conversation,
Okay.
actually.
Okay, thought
It
so.
does not cross 33.
It doesn't cross 33. So, I mean, I'm certainly in support of it. I'm sure all of us are in support of it. I mean, what an awesome addition to West Bend. You have all the river shores. Are the cast iron, do you know, are all those units filled?
I don't know the current status of it. I know they've done very well in the last few
Okay.
years. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All these, I mean, if I may just jump in
Yeah.
regarding the filled or not filled, all these developers, and we have another development proposal for Trails Edge on the Gale property coming before Plan Commission this evening. All the developers that propose stuff like this do their market studies.
I
in
would think
advance.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we trust when they roll in, this is a 181 unit proposal, that they've done the market study for that, and it's come back positive that they'll do well.
Yeah. That's really great news for other types of businesses in town, as far as like restaurants and service industries. That's really good news.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the reason, when I found out about that this was officially going to happen, I called Jay on Thursday or Friday and said, hey, can we add this to the agenda? And one, I'd like to put together a letter very quickly today of support of this to go to the Planning Commission tonight. But I also see that there's a lot of benefit potential for the downtown businesses, for the bid. With the commercial side of it, I think it makes sense to potentially talk to them and see if they would be willing, because they have stated they want to be a part of the downtown and be connected, to see if we can extend the bid up into that area. That's not something we can just do. There's a process. You have to have, I believe, 2/3 of the ownership of commercial ownership to agree to go into a bid. So there'd be a process to do that, but more importantly, I think we need to show our support from a business standpoint as the neighbors of it, that, hey, we think this is a great idea. There's been a lot of, what really irritates me is there's tons of negativity on one specific Facebook page, about this. My wife's a wildlife photographer. I get wildlife. I understand the connection to the owls. We're down there every year and see them, but this is a great thing for the community. It's a great thing for the downtown businesses, and I think it would be a really good thing for us to publicly support.
Well, but supporting is fine, but if we're asking to extend the bid out to include them, then you also have those businesses on the other side of the street that wouldn't really,
No, they would
would they
be-
be
we
forced
would-
into it?
We would probably bring everybody, you'd have to bring everybody into it.
Right, but then if they as a property owner don't want to pay taxes, it's not something that they've ever done before. I mean, I just wanted, we have to
It's
consider
a-
all,
Yeah, it's a process. We'd have to go through and do an educational process. I think the first step is, I think more than anything, we need to I would like to have a letter of support from this group go to the Planning Commission tonight and the council, just saying, hey, we support this. And then we can start the conversation later, once we know this is going to happen for sure. Then we could start that conversation about doing the bid extension.
Right. A bid extension, so the process, you can't force, the extent people to be in. There would have to be, like Mike said, over 2/3 or 40% that actually petition to be in the bid. So it is a process, and we would work with the city attorney on it as well. And, that would come later after this. I mean, we do not have a developer's agreement yet. It's still a little early for something like that to be completed.
Right.
But at this point, a letter of support, I think, would go a long way, considering some of the feedback online, and this is a new group to West Bend, and, we, are trying to make them feel welcomed, because this will have huge impact on downtown, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally, how far down does the building, how will this building go? Like, how far down, like, past the,
Sure, so it includes the brewery site itself and like 2 smaller buildings that are right to the north of it. So it stops where there's a drive-in, where there's like a
Where that parking lot is.
area.
where the parking lot is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Jay, you said something about the Riverwalk being redeveloped to look like this. Is that them doing that? Or is that us doing that?
It would be us doing that as part of the public improvements
Okay.
tied to the
Okay.
project. But just the coolness factor of accessing, if you're lucky enough to rent one of those apartments right down the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other question. You said high-end. Is there, do we have a sense for what that means?
Well, everybody's high-end or luxury are 2 different things, but we know of the work that HKS has done in other areas, and the city of West Bend would be very pleased.
Okay.
And this is rental apartments, this is in condominiums.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then 1 commercial space on the first floor of that first building to the south. So it'd be mixed use in 1 building and fully residential in the other building. And Jess, if you wouldn't mind going to the Main Street shot that shows scale, you just went past it, that one.
Yep.
They've done a nice job of mixing in scale from the road to the smaller buildings, green space, and then the large building. So I think, they spent a lot of time and energy and cash on this so far. The last proposal that we had in 2017 was very nice. It was a 1 building right up tight to the road, 99 unit proposal. This one is that and just 10 times better, to be honest. So we're really excited as staff to be having this proposal come through our process, and the likelihood of it moving forward, in part bangs on things like letters of support from you guys. So I just think that's a wise move on your part. The staff would think that's a great move, and having it go to Plan Commission tonight and then through the council process. They are on pretty tight timeline, so they have the property under offer, so they would like to close as soon as they can in the new year. We would be in the process of creating a TID at that same time, and they want to be under construction as soon as April, May of 2021. So we have a chance to see this thing transform really fast. Exciting stuff. Thanks for your idea of a letter of support.
Like Mike was saying, I understand people's concerns, but I really hope they can get on board with this, because this is super exciting and kind of important for the city. So it's really good to clean that corner up.
So is anybody willing to make a motion to do a letter?
I'll make a motion for the bid to make a supporting letter to the council
Second?
And the Plan Commission.
and the Plan Commission.
So we have a motion by Peggy, a second by Justice to write a letter of support to go to the Planning Commission tonight and further on to the council if this goes that far. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Are we going to be able to see that letter? It goes on the council, I guess.
I can email the letter. I'll plan to bring it over to Mike today to sign, but I'm happy to send it out to everybody when it's drafted and finished.
Okay.
I have a generic question, I think, about the bid. So if somebody purchased a building that was previously owned by somebody else, do they have, and that building is in the bid, does that new owner, are they automatically required?
Yes.
Because the building itself was already in the bid?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for Jay. Jay, you still here?
Yep. Hi, Jed.
Tony, turn on your microphone, please.
Is there going to be a visitor parking area somewhere near this?
Yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned underground parking. There is underground parking underneath both buildings. Regarding the remaining public parking, We haven't seen the detail of that plan yet, no.
Is the downstairs parking just for the tenants?
I don't know that yet. I would kind of assume that, but I don't, again, we haven't, it's so early in the process that we haven't seen those kind of details. We do know that they've engaged our I shouldn't say it's the traffic analysis engineering firm that does a lot of work for the city of West Bend and seemingly has done most of the projects in this area. TADI is the name of the firm. And HKS has engaged TADI knowing that the Plan Commission will absolutely require a traffic impact analysis on this property. Because I'm guessing,
And that includes parking or the traffic analysis?
yep, it'll include everything. Crosswalks and pedestrian movements.
Do we have a sense for, no, this is way ahead of time. We're gonna hear a lot about the restaurant in the ground floor there. We don't have a sense for that, huh?
Nope.
No, okay.
No, we don't know. I don't know anything more than you guys know at this time. I'm not sure that HKS knows at this time.
Right.
Tony, does that help a little bit? Thanks.
So if there's nothing else on that, if there's any agenda items for the November meeting, remember that meeting got moved to
November 17th.
17th,
Here.
which will be in this location. We had to move it because of the election, and then the next week is municipal court. So we pushed it to the 17th of November. So we won't have an opportunity to get together prior to the tree lighting. So just everybody, we'll get information out and start publicizing that, and that we're doing the decorations. Decorations are going to be done on November 2nd, so if anybody wants to
The
volunteer.
3rd.
3rd it is? Is that?
On election day. Yes.
Yes, Monday the 3rd.
The
Okay.
second day.
On Monday the 3rd, we're looking for volunteers. So if anybody knows anybody out there that would like to help, just show up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and we'll put you to work. So if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Or ask for a motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
The motion is second, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you, everybody.